Taylor Lewis, of course. And so I just want you to introduce yourself and explain who are you?
Okay, I am Lacy Crandall. I am a 2019 graduate of the VSU Mass Media Department, and I currently hold a position of Sports Information Director at Lake Sumter State College in Leesburg, Florida.
Okay, so who was the professor that most impacted your career at Valdosta State? Who would you say is the professor that you just love to death?
Okay, so to be fair, Jason Brown above all,
Mhm.
but I did take Dr. Walker's sports workshop class. I think it was my junior year, and I did the sideline cameras at the home football games, and I mean even 3 years into my program, I had no idea. Like all I knew was that I liked mass media. I still had no idea where I was going. And then I started doing those cameras, and I was like, wow, sports is fun. And then like I don't know, I just got into it
Yeah,
because of that class. Like it like clicked. Like there's no reason one way or another. Like it literally everything just clicked with that sports workshop class.
yeah, no, I totally get it. I'm actually in sports workshop right now too. And so like us being softball players and you being the former softball player, we really got into sports. And I can
Mhm.
honestly say like you work in sports, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
My
So
whole
like,
life is sports.
so whole life is sports. That's so fun. So, do you feel like this program has helped you with the job for your sports? Do you feel like the mass media program did what it needed to do to make sure that you were successful in your career path?
Let's see. I would say it did because just like being a student athlete, like mass media is not your Monday and Wednesday class 9 a.m. to 10:15. Like mass media is literally you're doing homework at any time of day or like projects any time of day. Like no different than this job. I um like I have games every single day this week, and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna edit my photos, I'm gonna write my releases, like I'm gonna do all the things that I was doing in mass media. Like it's not a 9 to 5. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? Like
Yeah.
you don't just go to class and go home in mass media. And this job, I don't just come and sit at this office and go home. Like my job is always going.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, especially how you mentioned sports workshop. Like, yeah, we do our Blazer sports report, but then
Mm-hmm.
we have to edit it in post-production and your Adobe Premieres and your Adobe Illustrators. So like,
Yeah, and then the 5 o'clock or basketball games and the Saturday games.
mhm.
Like normal students don't go to class on Saturdays. So I mean, it really prepared me to not be used to a normal schedule, as
Yeah,
well as being a student athlete. But mass media and being a student athlete combined, you know, it
yeah.
prepared me pretty well.
It had to have, especially because like we're always busy as student athletes, and then you have to sit there and explain. And I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, like being that athlete has helped you have uncomfortable conversations with people of your higher ups of like, hey, I have to miss this because I have to work here. And like you have to sit and explain. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now you have to tell like your family, like, hey, I have to work this weekend because there's a game. Sorry, can't go to your
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah, I have daily conversations with my AD. He's like, "Did you do this yet?" And I'm like, "I had games every day last week." I was like, "I promise I'll get to it." Or like like I moved back to be here because I'm less than an hour away from home, and like I haven't seen my parents. Like I expected to go home and come back like
Mhm.
often, but not as much as I I have not gone as much as I expected to. But like I was taking pictures at our softball game on Saturday, and I looked and I was like, that's a V State hat. And it was my parents. Like they were watching your softball game on the way
Mhm.
to my softball game.
See,
Like
it's cool how things go full circle like that. It really
mhm,
is. So
yeah.
I know that you went through your one job that was in the freezing cold all the way in Pennsylvania. So that was
Yep.
first job out of?
Yeah, it was my first media related job out of college.
And what did you do there?
So, here I work at the school level. In Pennsylvania, I worked at the conference level. So like the GSC, the Gulf South, I worked for the Middle Atlantic Conference. It's a Division 3 conference out of, I guess I said it was South Central, but I'm sure the people in Pennsylvania did not say it was South Central Pennsylvania. That's how it felt to me though. But I had 18 schools um in Pennsylvania. It was Pennsylvania, Maryland, and New Jersey, and we had like 27 sports. So I was an assistant commissioner, and my official job title was assistant director of sports information operations. So most of what my job was doing player of the weeks every week for the conference for fall, winter, and spring. And then I did the national stuff. So I nominated our players for the national level. They got picked. I did that. I just I lost my train of thought. Um, it was a lot
Yeah.
at the conference level because I had 27, like I say 27 sport. It was something, it was a ridiculous amount, but it was 27 sports. The conference, because there were 18 schools, we were split up 9 and 9. So
Mhm.
we had like a north and south division. So the conference was 2 conferences. So I did like it was a lot of
Ooh.
coverage. Yeah.
So did you have to study those sports? Like, I know there were some sports
I
that
wish I
like
could show you.
we don't have that
Yeah,
Pennsylvania
so
has.
um yeah, it was memorizing the proper terminology for the conference because we were 2 conferences. It was 18 schools and memorizing their logos, their colors, their proper terminology because proper use of brand is really important at the college level. It's important everywhere, but for colleges it is important because there's so many, and like some of them are similar, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like and then my gosh. And then I had to focus on, like, I had to try not to over promote one school over the other because of course you have, like, in the example of the GSC, like you have BSU, West Florida, Huntsville, and AUM, but then you have, like, nationally ranked teams, but then you have like Christian Brothers, Shorter, those teams. So I had, like, every conference has them, so I had to be very mindful um to make sure everybody was getting promoted. Couldn't
Yeah.
be equal, but at least somewhat equally.
Yeah. No,
There were a lot of things going on in my head all at once up there, for
gosh,
sure.
I could only imagine having to deal with all those sports and then sports that you probably have never been exposed to.
Yeah. Field
Like,
hockey, ice hockey.
yeah, like we don't have hockey here. We don't have hockey
Yeah.
at this state. It's hot. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I definitely understand that. So you talked about what you did prior. So what do you do now? What is your job now? Which job do you like better?
Oh, this job 100%. Being a sports information director at the collegiate level, I mean it's been my goal for so many years. Like seeing what Matt Malone did for the Valdosta State Athletic Department, and like even after he wasn't our SID anymore, like he was so important to Valdosta State, and he was so important to me. He was so important to like so many student athletes that have come and gone,
Yeah.
even now that he's not there anymore. He like I don't think that I hold like the kind of personality that he holds, but like I can try. And I love that I get to spend every day with my student athletes here. Like um I this is totally not even job related. Like this is the great thing about this job. I work out with the with our volleyball coach every morning. and they're not in season right now, so they're just kind of like they're always in the gym, just like playing around, doing different skill stuff, just like off season for softball.
Yeah.
And I walk in there and they're like, "What workout are you doing today?" And like I'll be in the weight room, and like their girls will be in there, and we'll be like doing the same workout next to each other. Like it's not even job related, but like I just get to be around them and like be in their lives, and like they get to be in mine. Like that's the exciting part about the job for me, like getting to know them. I rode the bus with the softball team for an away game the other day, and I just hung out in the dugout with them. Like, not even like, I mean, I was live tweeting with the game, but it was just exciting to be there. And I mean, not playing. It was
Yeah.
fun to not play.
Yeah. And actually
But
be a
it's just,
bystander for once.
yeah, like it was just, aside from the actual job part of it, just being there with them and like having relationships with the players, having relationships with the coaches that I didn't have before
Mhm.
as a student athlete. Like I'm close with all of our coaches, which is something I didn't even think.
Was
I didn't
normal.
know that that was even a thing.
Yeah.
Like we go to lunch together. We like it's crazy. I love it. Like jobs aside, that's the part that I love about being here. Um, but you did ask me what I do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
You're fine.
I get so happy being in like an environment like this. Like
Yeah. That's
the
what
kids
jobs
are
are
great and the
about.
coaches are great and my AD is wonderful. So I sorry. What do
No.
I do? So I do social media, I write releases, I just got a camera. I applied for a grant and got a camera for the athletic department. So I take pictures now. Um, I make graphics. I I make billboards now.
Ah,
We're working with the marketing department to get more promotion for athletics. So we make weekly billboards that are out on the highway, which are
mhm,
really cool just to see our student athletes because
mhm.
it's the way that the billboard faces is the way that they come from where they live. So they get to see like their face on a billboard every day. So I do so many things like that. It's a lot. It's just me. I have a student worker that helps me set up the live stream at home games, but that's primarily her job. Um, but yeah, I do all that.
So you actually like it. So many people fear like, oh, once I get out of college, I'll probably have to work a 9 to 5 that I do not like, or it feels like work.
Mm-hmm.
Your job, does it feel like work, or does it feel like I'm with my family? Yeah, there's some days that are bad, but overall, I love this job.
Yeah, some days it feels like work. Like yesterday was Sunday and
Oh,
I was working all day and I was like, I really want to go to Universal right now. But I had two games of photos to edit and I was like, this is more important. Like the kids want their pictures. So that's what I did yesterday. So like some days, yeah, I'm like, golly, I don't want to write this release right now. But I mean, I get like I'm wearing a dry fit t-shirt and joggers right now at work. Like, I mean, it's pretty cool.
it's like college all over again.
Yeah, I come to work sometimes and I'm like, I shouldn't be dressed like this, but
Yeah.
I
Is
have
it
a game today, so I'm
personal?
not wearing a polo.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. So I heard you talk about making graphics and editing video. Do you use what we used in the program? So like Adobe Photoshop, Illustrate, Premiere. Do you use those or do you use your own?
I use Photoshop every single day. Um, I since I got my camera, I just ventured into Lightroom, which I've never used before.
Okay.
Our marketing guy, he's like our head graphic designer in the marketing department. He uses Lightroom for his photos, so he has been showing me some things with it. So I use Lightroom, um, Lightroom and Photoshop. I think that's it. I don't use Adobe Premiere because I'm not really doing video right now.
Yeah.
But for the stuff that I have done, I have the iPhone version. I think it's called Premiere Rush.
Yes.
I've been using that. I mean, same thing. It's just quick short form videos. But yeah, I use Adobe every single day.
Every day. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, VState, for opening that door for us. But
Yeah, like I could not imagine doing this job without training in Adobe. Like some days I feel clueless and I'm like, oh my God, I for this. So
I,
like having a background of knowledge helps a lot.
okay, so my last question. What advice would you give a person in the mass media program that wants to venture out into new jobs? And what is your advice, whether it be like make sure your LinkedIn is up to date or make sure you put in applications for stuff you want and stuff like your interest you? Like, what advice would you give a mass media major right now that graduates? So basically, what advice would you give me?
What advice would I give you? Um, Golly, you might have to ask the question again.
Okay, so
I feel like I have a good answer, but I need to draft it in my head.
what
Sorry,
advice?
did I just this wasn't gonna be a one take video, was it?
Yeah, this is a one take thing.
Oh geez. Sorry.
It's fine. This
Sorry.
this is fine. This is what an interview is all about. We're just getting personable.
Yeah, I mean I have so many things that I could say about that. I think the biggest thing, not the biggest thing, but this is a national thing. Sorry. I'll call her back. She's the one of the executive directors of the formerly known as COSIDA. I don't know if you know about it. I think your teammates have gotten a bunch of COSIDA awards, but it's the college sports communicators. I applied for a grant to go to convention this summer, and she's like calling me right now. So maybe I got the grant to go.
Yes, we'll have to pray you
Yeah,
got
I'll call her back. But this is kind of it sounds cliche to say always being open to opportunity. So like always say yes, in my opinion. Like always say yes, but at the same time know your limit and know when to say no.
that.
I hope that makes sense. So like this job. I don't have an assistant, and this is a job that needs one or two assistants. Like VSU has GAs that help with the sports information thing, like with the stream and stuff. So I'm like hitting my limit, like my capacity limit. Like I've said yes to so many things. Like I said yes to the weekly billboards. I make other things that are outside of my realm of sports information. I'm helping plan the athletic department banquet. That's not sports information related, but the reason why I brought that up is because they wanted to vamp it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can totally help with that. Like we can make graphics, we can make it fun for them.
Yeah.
So that's where like I don't say no because it's opportunities. Like I'm on a like this lady calling me for a convention that I want to go to this summer. And I'm on a committee. I'm on two committees with the conference office. So I help pick the player of the weeks each week for baseball and softball. And I think I'm on the list to help with volleyball in the fall. And then I also am on the inaugural sports information director committee for the conference. So it's just like I keep adding things because like I want to be out there. I want to network. I want people to know who I am. Like this was a part-time job here before. Our softball coach was our SID before. So this is new for Lake Sumter to have a full-time SID. So I want to do as much as I can without killing myself to get Lake Sumter out there.
Yes.
And part of it, and like part of the conversation. Like the reason that our guy at the conference asked me to be on the player of the week committee is because I think they wanted a woman for one, because the whole group is men. And I'm a newer SID and I played the sport.
Mm-hmm.
I played sports in college. Like it doesn't matter what sport I played. But like I'm getting Lake Sumter out there.
Yeah.
And I'm getting Lake Sumter part of the conversation. So that's full circle. Like always be open to new things and new opportunities, but know when to say no. Like, I hope that makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, that definitely does make sense. So, like, thank you so much for letting me interview you.
Of
And
course.